While sitting in the airport waiting room, a little girl suddenly hugged Ellie and said, "Mama!" Finally, Mama was back. Ellie felt confused because she didn't know the girl. However, when the girl's father arrived, Ellie was even more surprised. What really happened? Before starting the story, don't forget to click subscribe and write in the comments section what city you are watching from. The crash instantly claimed the lives of her parents. Ellie woke up in a sterile hospital room days later. Her breathing was shallow, her head throbbing. There was a heavy plaster cast on her right leg, and worst of all, a gaping, hollow space in her chest. She had to face the bitter reality. She was alone again. The physical pain of her broken leg was insignificant compared to the emptiness in her heart. In California, she had to fight alone. She struggled to finish college and pay for her life by selling her paintings. Every day was a fight. Physical therapy was torture, forcing a deadened limb back to life. Every step was taken in pain. Fear and despair wrapped around her, making her feel lost in perpetual darkness. During those difficult months, Clara frequently texted and called, sharing the small joys of her life, oblivious to Ellie's accident. Clara only knew that Ellie hadn't replied for a few days because she was supposedly busy with work. Now, Ellie only sent back short, curt replies. Sometimes, she could only stare at her phone helplessly. How could she tell Clara about her condition? How could she admit that the life she had chosen, the one she gained by sacrificing Clara's opportunity, was now shattered? A painful, deep-seated envy began to bloom inside her. Clara sounded so happy. Her life was peaceful, and she was about to be married. Meanwhile, Ellie was at rock bottom. Clara's beautiful life seemed like a brutal mirror reflecting Ellie's own failure. Shame and guilt blocked every word she wanted to convey. She chose to disappear. Her mental state was too fragile. Ellie temporarily blocked Clara's number. She didn't want Clara to worry, so she lied, saying she had a major project in a remote area and wouldn't be reachable for a while. It was a huge lie. Ellie stopped contacting her for years. Year after year passed. Ellie's life in California slowly improved. The physical injury to her leg healed, and she slowly learned to walk again, though her gait was never as strong as before. She finally completed her degree and found a steady job. The wreckage of her life began to resemble a structure again. She felt strong enough now to face her past, to make amends for her mistake with Clara. With a trembling hand, she tried to call Clara's number, the number she hadn't dialed in years. The call ended with a hollow dial tone, no answer. Panic surged, compelling her to search for Clara on social media, the last place they had seen each other's updates. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she finally found Clara's profile. But when she saw the latest profile picture, her entire world collapsed. It wasn't a photo of Clara. It was a simple gravestone. The name Clara was carved on it. Below the picture was a caption uploaded by her husband. "Goodbye, my wife." Ellie checked the date of the post. It was months old. Tears spilled over, wetting her phone screen. She felt an overwhelming devastation, far deeper than the pain of losing her adoptive parents. The regret, which she had kept locked at the bottom of her heart, now exploded, hitting her like a hurricane. Ellie sobbed, letting her tears flow without restraint. She had not only lost Clara, but also the chance to apologize, to explain, to connect. All the promises they had made, all their childhood memories, were now painful, mocking shadows. She felt utterly worthless. How could she have forgotten Clara? How could she have ignored her for so many years? After a long time, Ellie wiped her eyes. She realized she could no longer run from her past. She had to go home. She had to face the remnants of her memories. She had to see Clara's grave with her own eyes. Ellie recognized the funeral photo. The cemetery wasn't far from their old orphanage. With a shattered heart, Ellie booked a flight to London. She had to come home for Clara. And so, here she was, standing before Clara's grave. Ellie stood up, her legs stiff from sitting so long on the cold earth. Her eyes were still swollen. but there was a strange kind of peace in the piercing sadness. Just as she was about to leave, a man walked toward her, holding the hand of a small girl who stumbled slightly. Ellie's heart immediately pounded against her ribs. It was the man and the girl she had met at the airport, Marcus and Lily. They were equally shocked to see Ellie there. Their eyes met, and in the tense silence, a devastating, heartbreaking truth struck Ellie with full force. She looked at Marcus, then at the headstone behind them, then back at Lily. She finally understood. Marcus was Clara's husband and Lily was Clara's daughter. "I know you have a lot you need to say," Marcus said, as if he could read Ellie's confusion. "Come home with us. We can talk in the car." The drive to Clara and Marcus's house was silent. Ellie stared out the window, her mind a frantic mess. Marcus finally broke the silence. "After meeting you at the airport, Lily kept talking about her mother. So we decided to come back to her grave. She wanted to see her again." At the house, Marcus sent Lily to her room, then invited Ellie to sit in the living room. "Clara often talked about you," Marcus began, his voice soft and patient. He looked at Ellie with calm eyes, without a trace of judgment. "She always said she had a twin sister, a twin she loved more than anything in the world. Ellie, she never hated you." The finality of that last sentence, uttered with such sincerity, as if delivering a final message from his late wife, hit Ellie harder than any physical blow. The shame she had carried for so long felt heavy and humiliating. The tears that had dried at the cemetery now burst forth again. How could she not? Ellie choked out, her voice broken. "I betrayed her, Marcus. I was the one who pushed that family to adopt me, even though she sacrificed her chance for me. Then I disappeared when she needed me most. I was jealous of her happiness, and I blocked her because I was miserable." Ellie covered her face with her hands, her shoulders shaking. "I am so sorry." Marcus didn't say anything immediately. He just moved closer, taking a box of tissues from the table and placing it on Ellie's lap. "Clara knew, Ellie," he said, his voice full of empathy. "She knew you were going through a difficult time. She just wished you would be okay." He sighed, reminiscing. "Of course she was sad when she couldn't reach you, but she was never angry. Every time she looked at your old photos from the home, she would just smile and say, 'Ellie must be fighting a hard battle. She will come back someday.' She never stopped praying for you, Ellie. Not even until her last day." Marcus looked at Ellie with sincere eyes, as if he truly could see the goodness in her heart. "You were the most valuable part of her life. Your happiness was her happiness, until the very end." Ellie's weeping was now uncontrollable. She missed Clara desperately. Ellie spent the rest of her leave healing her broken heart. She accepted Marcus's quiet invitation to stay at their home while she was in London. Every morning, she woke up to the sight of Lily's face, a clear image of Clara reflected in the little girl's smile and laughter. She noticed how similar Clara and Lily were. The way Lily moved her hands when she spoke, the way she looked with sparkling eyes when she was happy. She also helped Marcus in the kitchen, chopping vegetables and slicing onions, listening as he talked about the small, precious things he and Clara used to do together. Ellie felt her regret slowly lifting, replaced by a deep warmth that gradually enveloped her heart. One afternoon, as Ellie was brushing Lily's hair in front of the mirror, Lily suddenly looked at their reflection, her eyes shimmering. "Auntie Ellie," she whispered, her voice very soft. "I feel like Mummy came back. It feels like a dream." Ellie froze. Her hand stopped moving. She stared at her own reflection, seeing Clara's face staring back through her own features. "Lily," Ellie said, her voice husky. "Auntie is so sorry she only just arrived." Lily shook her head, turning and hugging Ellie tightly. "It's okay, Auntie. I'm just happy you came home." That night, after Lily was fast asleep, Ellie and Marcus sat on the back patio. Marcus lit a candle, allowing a comfortable silence to settle over them. "Clara loved our daughter so much," Marcus said, his voice low. "She would be so happy to see Lily with you." Ellie looked at Marcus, feeling immense gratitude. Thank you, Marcus, for everything. Thank you for taking care of Clara. Marcus smiled, a sincere warmth finally reaching his eyes. Clara was the most precious part of my life, and you, Ellie, you are a part of her. I'm glad you're back. We're glad you're back. The last day arrived, and Ellie prepared to return to California. At the airport gate, Lily hugged her fiercely, tears streaming down her small cheeks. Don't go, Auntie, please stay here. Ellie smiled, stroking Lily's head, then looked at Marcus. Auntie has to go, sweetheart, but I promise I'll visit you again very soon. She said to Lily, then her gaze shifted to Marcus. Until next time, Marcus. Marcus nodded, his eyes full of understanding. Take good care of yourself, Ellie. See you soon. On the plane, Ellie sat with a profound change in her heart. She had found peace, even though her reunion with Clara was only through memories. She knew Clara never hated her. Ellie also knew that she now had Marcus and Lily, a new family she would cherish. Clara's story had ended, but Ellie's story had just begun. A valuable lesson learned about family, regret, and the boundless power of forgiveness.